You need to remember, you are not a 24/7 emergency service. You have to block specific time for your communication sprints. Your weekly plan is not a cage, it is your compass. It also should allow you to make any necessary adjustments. Now, let's be real, life can be unpredictable. Sometimes, no matter how flawless, how beautiful your plan is, or how beautifully you protected your focus, fires happen. Do you ever go to the end of your day, look at your to do list, and then realize you felt completely defeated? You were busy the entire day, you ran from meeting to meeting, you answered 100 emails, you put out fires, but still, you weren't able to do that one thing that's truly important. And then you tell yourself, if only I had more time. But what if I told you that is a lie? What if I told you that the most productive, most impactful, and successful people on this planet do not have a time management secret, but they have an energy management system? Now, this topic is close to my heart because I once thought that for me to be productive and for me to be disciplined, I just need to work longer hours and work harder as well. I remember early in my career, I was so overwhelmed with a lot of tasks and deliverables. I was sitting in front of my laptop and I just looked at the spreadsheet, basically the file that contains all of my deliverables and all of my commitments at work, my commitments with my family, and even my personal life and my personal goals as well. And looking at those overwhelming number of things that I need to get done, I started crying. I was so overwhelmed that I did not know where to start. I did not know what to do first. I did not know what I'm going to do to make sure that I finish everything. And then I also remember just telling myself, I just need time. I need more time. I hope they give me time. I hope someone could just give me more time. And that's when it hit me. Love, you do not need more time. Actually, we do not need more time. None of us do. What we need is to be more strategic about our energy. Because if you come to think of it, I have 24 hours a day. You have 24 hours a day. Everybody has 24 hours a day. Basically, your mentors, the people that you consider successful in your industry, the people that you look up to, they have 24 hours just like you do. And so I realized that time is fixed and finite. It takes away no matter what you do. But our energy, the energy that you have, that is a renewable resource. Our energy is something that we can actually protect, we can influence, and we can invest. And so eventually, I came to understand that the real game changer is actually not managing that clock on the wall, but it is in managing the battery within us, our energy. And in this episode, I am going to share with you my 5 part framework that I use in my personal system that allowed me to be more productive and do more important things 10 times than I did 5 years ago. So let's dive right into it. Number one, know your high energy and low energy times. This is actually the very foundation in energy management. You need to know and understand when your brain is at its absolute best. For me, my peak times would be 9 a.m. to 12 noon. That's Monday through Wednesday. I'd call that my prime time. And so I protect those periods of times because I will be using that time to do deep work, to do creative work, and to do strategic work. Now, what you can actually do is you have to know when your high energy times usually are, and then your low energy times as well. And then you think of your most important high leverage tasks and you match that or schedule those tasks in your high energy times or your peak energy periods or window. Okay? Because if you come to think of it, it is absurd, absolutely absurd, if you schedule tasks that require a lot of brain power in times that you know you will be drained. And what I notice most people do is that they think that they don't have control over their schedule. They'd say, well, love, what if I don't have a choice? What if it's my boss who will schedule a meeting with me in times that I really have very, very low energy? And so, what I would like you to do is to reframe that thinking. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe you can't control that. But as I have mentioned earlier, our energy is something that we can influence. And so, if that happens, then what you can do is to focus on the preparation and the relaxation periods. Maybe 10 minutes before the meeting, you can do a walk just to boost your energy, or you can do all the preparations needed for that meeting a day before the meeting. So you can do all of the thinking, do all of the brainstorming, you can do all of the research during your high energy hours before the meeting. And then after the meeting, maybe you can schedule a 15-minute quiet time or break just so you could recharge and refuel. So, what I'm trying to say here is that you focus on the things that you can control. You control what you control. But what's important is you understand when your high energy times and low energy times are and match your commitments, match your tasks, your deliverables based on the energy needed to get them done. Now, we go to number two, have theme days. Now, once you know when your energy is high or low, then you need to know what to do with it. So let's say you are someone who wear multiple hats. Okay, just like me, I have a manager role and I also have a creator role. And so with that, you can then decide or identify which days you're going to do the manager role and the creator role. And this is actually a real game changer. Okay? Because when you are doing, let's say, the manager role and then you coach your team, that actually requires a different skill set. You need to coach them, you need to support them and guide them, and it's more outward facing. But when you are doing the creator role, then that requires solitary work, heads down, and more on inward facing as well. And so constantly switching between these two different roles can be exhausting. So, what you can do is be strategic about the tasks or deliverables that you do based on the role and the skill sets necessary. So, what I do for me, usually from Mondays to Wednesdays, that's when I do my or fulfill my manager role. So, I schedule meetings Mondays to Wednesdays. I meet with my team and discuss the status of the department. I also do coaching sessions Mondays to Wednesdays as well, so that I can just focus on doing that and being a manager or a division head from Mondays to Wednesdays. And then my Thursdays and Fridays are usually for my creator role. Even though I'm already a division head right now, there are still things that I need to produce. There are still outputs that I need to create and accomplish. And so, because of that, I acknowledge that I need time, focus time to just allot it for my creator role. And so you won't actually usually see me have meetings Thursdays and Fridays because again, I dedicate those days for my creator role or my creator tasks and commitments. Now, what most people get wrong is that they think multitasking and context switching is productive. But really, I tell you, true productivity is about focus. Because if you constantly switch from different contexts or different responsibilities or commitments that require different sets of skills, then you will be less productive because you will be switching the necessary attention and focus for each of the responsibility or commitment. And so, what I would tell you is that when you want productivity, then you need to focus on one thing at a time. You can dedicate one full day doing one thing or one batch of activities or tasks that will allow you to actually be more productive, and at the same time it will allow you to reach optimal results. Okay, so you need to focus so that you can be truly productive. And so theming your days is very important and crucial because it will allow you to accomplish more tasks and also focus on the more important things. Now we go to number 3: schedule your availability. Since you already know your energy patterns and you have themed your days, your goal is to protect that focus. Now, this can be a bit radical and counterintuitive, but this is actually critical. You need to remember you are not a 24/7 emergency service, unless that's what you do. But to most of you listening to this podcast, then you are not a 24/7 emergency service. So, what I'm trying to say is you have to block specific time for your communication sprints. Now, in my case, if you look at my calendar, I actually have time blocks when I respond to messages or emails and even talk to my team. Okay? Because this trains them that I am reliable, but I'm not always available because I have other important things that I need to do. I remember when I was still starting as a supervisor, I was taking this leave. And then I was so surprised because one of my bosses suddenly called me and texted me because of an emergency. And really, at that time, I remember feeling so frustrated and disappointed because, again, I was on leave. And why would they call me or message me? And so when I returned to work, oh, by the way, I did not respond to that message. I don't know what happened to me, but like I did not answer the call and I did not respond to the message. But I remember when I returned to work, I really immediately told my boss that I did not like, I was not happy about them contacting me during my leave. And that's another part of like the reality of working in corporate, let's say, because you really have to be transparent and you need to know how to communicate, right? But my point is, I informed my boss that I was not comfortable with them contacting me during my leave or during my rest days. And so from there, I then told her that, okay, moving forward, I will be scheduling in my calendar the times that I will be available to address to any messages or emergencies, or basically reply to emails or messages. Okay? Because again, it is very important that you communicate your boundaries and you let the people you're working with about your availability. Because what most people think is that or feel is that they are guilty for not being on or available all the time. But really, okay, let's be real. You cannot be 24/7 available, okay, because you have a lot of responsibilities. There are other aspects or areas in your life that you need to attend to. And so you cannot be available to everyone all of the time. That is just impossible. It will drain you and it will really cause you stress. Okay? So what you need to do is again to time block or schedule your communication sprints. Because if you come to think of it, your true value is not in being unfocused because while you are doing something and then you have to reply to a message and then go back to what you're doing. I mean, that is really counterproductive. Even though protecting that focus may feel counterintuitive, but really that is your main responsibility to stay productive and to make sure that you are able to serve your team, to serve your organization, even your family and yourself, by making it known that you cannot be available all the time because you have other priorities and there are important matters that you need to tackle. So this is actually like a game changer as well in how I operate, because when I started scheduling my availability, then now my team understands that okay, I can go to Miss Love, I can leave her a message, she will not ignore me, but she just really has other important things that she needs to do. And so I would respect that and she'll get back to me. So that's like the kind of culture and mindset that I have taught my team so that they will not pressure me. And not the same that in exchange as well, because I do that, I will not pressure them as well. Okay? Because they have also learned that, okay, I too have to schedule my communication sprints or my availability. So that's kind of like a practice that we are doing right now. So yeah, you should try it and it will really be very, very helpful. Now we go to number 4. Schedule a UUW buffer. UUW stands for unplanned, unwanted work. Now, let's be real, life can be unpredictable. Sometimes, no matter how flawless, how beautiful your plan is, or how beautifully you protected your focus, fires happen. Okay? A lot of unexpected things happen. And trust me, I have been there. And I'm also even there, like at work right now, no matter how good I am in terms of protecting my focus, there are really moments that require my immediate attention. And so what I do is I schedule a UUW buffer. I call it a flex time. Okay. So to make it practical, I actually schedule like 1 to 2 hours per day for a UUW, because if there are emergencies, things that I really need to attend to right away, then I have this pre allocated time where I can focus on doing that. Just recently, last week, actually, we had this issue or concern from our Japanese counterpart, and I had to address and attend to it right away. The good thing was I was able to have that. I mean, I scheduled in my calendar a UUW buffer. And so I did not feel like that emergency derailed me from my plan or derailed me from my schedule. Because again, I was ready for any emergencies. So, what I'm trying to say is, we all know that unexpected things really could happen. And with that knowledge, what you need to do is prepare for it. Again, you schedule a UUW buffer, because most people, what they do is that they create a plan to the very minute, and it actually would make them like not very flexible about their schedule. So my point here is that since we all know that unexpected things really can happen, then you already do something about it early on, and you prepare and protect yourself from any unexpected events or any emergencies, the unplanned, unwanted work. And now we are down to number 5, the weekly plan. So, actually, to tie everything together, you need to have a weekly plan. Okay? Because now you know when your high energy and low energy times are, when you can theme your days, when you can be available, and you have the idea that you have to schedule a UUW buffer. And so you put all of that together in a weekly plan. What I do is that every Sunday I schedule 1 to 2 hours for me to look at my week and schedule everything. My high energy and low energy times, my theme days, my availability, and even my UUW buffers. And other commitments that I have, I plan and schedule them on my calendar. Okay? Because this is very important. Because looking at your week and planning for the week ahead will save you a lot of time and a lot of energy compared to not planning for the entire week. Why? Because most people are stuck in what we call a decision fatigue. I'm not sure if you have tried this, waking up in the morning and then you're thinking, okay, what do I need to do today? What should I do? Like, should I do this first? Blah, 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 blah. But if you already have a weekly plan and you can see your schedule, then it's easy for you to just focus on actually implementing it and making it happen. Compared to every day you make decisions and what you need to do and doing a to-do list. I mean, don't get me wrong, to-do lists are actually good, but it will be more effective if you already have a weekly plan. You already have a view of what's going to happen the entire week. But make sure that you will not fall into this common pitfall, because most people, when they already have a plan, they treat it with rigidity. They're not open to any possibilities or emergencies because, again, they already created this beautiful plan. And so, what I want you to remember is this: your plan, your weekly plan, is not a cage, it is your compass. It gives you direction as to what's going to happen for the week or what may potentially happen for the entire week, but it also should allow you to make any necessary adjustments, or it will allow you to pivot and make changes when necessary. The beautiful thing is that you are already able to see how the entire week would look like, and then you can easily make decisions as to when you can make changes, when you can say yes to, let's say, an invitation from a friend because they haven't seen you for a long time and they said, okay, how about tomorrow? Let's see each other tomorrow. So like that will be easier. I mean, the decision for that is easier because you already have a direction. You already know what's going to happen for the week and what it will look like. Now, in my case, I only do not just look at 1 week, but I look at the next 14 days. Okay, but for you, if you're only starting, then you can just focus on your week. And then once you get used to it, then that's the time you can start looking at the next 14 days, which actually for me right now is very, very much helpful because of the role that I am in as well. But my point is, you really have to tie everything together, put everything that you've learned from number 1 to 4 into a weekly plan. But then again, remember, your plan is only a tool that gives you direction of how you are going to operate or move for the entire week. So, there you have it, the 5-part framework in my personal system. And let us all bring it together. Remember, we all have the same 24 hours per day. And so we cannot really manage time. What we can do is to manage the energy to the time that we have. So by knowing your energy patterns, by scheduling your availability, by theming your days, by scheduling your unplanned and wanted work, and by creating a flexible weekly plan, you actually regain and reclaim control and focus on your energy. And so the main takeaway here is that your true potential isn't found in adding more hours to your days, but it is found in intentionally directing your energy to things that matter most. Now, I hope that you learned something from this episode. And if you resonated with this, then make sure to follow or subscribe the Love Ravina podcast. And of course, share this with people that you believe will also learn from this episode. Until next time, let's keep speaking up, showing up, and leading boldly.